We are live. Hello, hello, hello. We are freaking live. Yeah, we're just live. Ready to hear some bangers. What up, fam? Jordan Blackwell. House robbery of a pleading robot from the boy Shamer, aka Lil Dilly, aka Dylan, aka the realist from down south. No, I don't know where he's from. But yeah, let's just get right into this. Waste no time. House robbery of a pleading robot. Interesting impact at the beginning. Okay, make sure the levels are good. Okay. I see he was fucking with it a bit more. A lot of weird textures in here, which I am a fan of.
Yummy.
Yummy. Well, I fuck with that, but I felt like that riser came in a bit too loud compared to the rest. You know, maybe would have liked to hear more dynamics overall instead of just that. A lot of crazy textures. Curious as to how you made all these. Here's Joe. I really like your... Yeah, I felt like I would have liked to hear your stuff kind of filter in a bit more. You know, it felt like it barely opened up, and then the riser came out of nowhere kind of jarringly. And yeah, I just think it could have been a bit smoother.
Yummy.
Dig the drop vocal though, and I like your kind of motif that you develop with the harder bass. Like your little fill at the end. It just dries out, gets very sparse too quickly, I think. Needs a bit of an impact out of there, at the very least. Have a bit of echo, reverby type action coming out. The riff is a banger, that's for sure. Oh, run that back. Complexity on this is fucking. As I go back to very, as I look at it, I felt like, well, you can see how sparse it is here, right? You can just have like I went over in a lesson or whatever. You can have pads, you can have arps, you can have melodies, you can have more of a bass line going on. You know, you can have something to fill it in, especially considering you want to build up more tension, have more elements to manipulate with pitch bends or filters or whatever to add a bit more tension and rising transition. Here's Little Joe. I really like your arrangement with this, getting really funky with the kind of fills in the midst with the melody, and of course with the melody overall. Snare sounds way too quiet at a lot of the times, and it just sounds very dull. You know, maybe you had that drum bus down so long. That's a bit of a funky sound. I would maybe like to hear it being teased in, either teased in here or right before this section. Also, I feel like the kind of like gate effect you have is a bit too much. Maybe have a bit smoother LFOs around. Yeah. I'll maybe like a tiny bit more, like whatever, something at the end. A little bit more at the end, like slower with the kind of tape stop effect or some type of echo out type thing would be cool, I think. But yeah, like really solid track. I would say only like here is where like a lot of the I definitely think could do some polishing. Beyond that, it sounds super solid in a lot of other spots. Also, it sounds like your sub is louder at some parts and not at others, so you want to just make sure you're EQing that or having a dedicated sub or something to just get it uniform across the board. Hello, hello, bird brothers of the flock. Happy to have you here. Very pleased to see you all enjoying this banger. Yeah, you did great, and yeah, I thought it was interesting enough, despite not having a necessarily a break. You know, you're switching things up, keeping it interesting. But yeah, you killed it. I dig it. Give Lil Dilly a follow if you want to be there first in line when this shit drops. There he is, man. Sup, boys, sup, boys. Submit the tracks in here. Thang. Notice coming back. It's been a hot minute with the boy Notice, but he's returned with the banger. Okay, up next, Cryo. Can I open it here, please? Thanks. Cryo. Let's go. Just drops.
Get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, I feel like the second half is a little weaker than the first after you just disrespected the fuck out of us. You could definitely have a kind of riser there, layered.
Get knocked the fuck out.
Absolutely. I feel like the sound design on that is a little weaker than the rest, in my opinion. Yeah, that was huge as fuck. Huge. You could definitely have a bit of a riser and slightly longer build up and whatnot beyond the drop, you know, because it's basically empty besides that. You know, and I mean, of course the drop is the focus of the song, right? But you can add more elements in the arrangement. Besides that, I mean, it's just drops, but still, you know, be sure to add at least a riser or some more tension. And I think more time can allow for more tension to build up more expectation. Yeah, as for your drop, your stuff sounds level and wide, which is perfect. Yeah, I mean, you're just solid. Yeah, I mean, your drums sound good, except the cymbals. I'm not a big fan of just like cymbal type stuff that just sounds like white noise layered on, because I don't really feel like it adds much. You know, like of course it like quote unquote fills the mix, you know, but when you have spaces, I don't think it's really necessary a lot of the time. And like if you want something kind of rhythmic, I would have it more, you know, tappy, so it's easier to pick out that rhythm and feel it. But yeah, killed it. Definitely gonna put up some competition for the rest of the submissions tonight. That's for damn sure. But yeah, who's Cryo? I don't know. I mean, he made a banger, but give him a follow if you want to see more. That's that. Yeah, Cryo, you fucking killed it. Also, Yuzi, huge SC, huge Z, whatever that means. I support you both. All right, let's go.
All of a sudden we on.
Watching the video for this.
We got it. All of a sudden we
I have this sample. I flipped this way, literally years ago.
all of a sudden, yeah, all of a sudden, all of a sudden, all of a sudden, yeah, all of a sudden,
I like
all of a sudden, yeah,
your little bass line and melody.
all of a sudden, yeah, all of a sudden, yeah. Let's get
I feel like you can have like one more type of pad. Oh shit.
So why you be calling me cousin? Man, I'm not your cousin. Even stealing can see me as easy. No wonder we buzzing.
Goddamn.
When they talking of rulers, you never come up in discussion. Like where the cash at? You know, shorty ass fat. 25
Yeah, this fucks.
See,
I don't know if it's the YouTube quality. YouTube quality might be worse than SoundCloud, so I want to listen to it on SoundCloud. So, because I'm not an audio expert. But yeah, I'm fucking with the video. But just for the sake of audio, and so I could see the waveform and see exactly where shit is. I'm digging it thus far.
let's get it. All of a sudden, yeah, all of a sudden, yeah, all of a sudden. Man, you know we ain't blood, so why you be calling me
I dig the riff and the sound design.
Even stealing can see me as easy. No wonder we buzzing. No wonder we buzzing. When they talking of rulers, you never come up in discussion. Like where the cash at? You know, shorty ass fat. 25 bands. He's doing the backpack. On that Louis.
I have a rat. Don't look now, but there's a little rat. The drums sound good to me.
All of a sudden we got it.
This break sounds good. Your arrangement's good without usually using effects. Notice, hello.
All of a sudden, all of a sudden, yeah, 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 all of a sudden, yeah.
And then I like the beat here. Yeah, it just fucks. What can I say? One thing, I think your sub can be louder, because a lot of times if your sub is loud enough, you're probably going to see like that classic brick of a waveform for the preview on SoundCloud. Sub can probably be louder. I feel like this like noisy kind of bass could have a heavier mid layer as well.
All of a sudden we on. All of a sudden we got it. All of a sudden we savage. Going and going and going. All of a sudden, yeah. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, all of a sudden.
And I like how you bring it into kind of a breakdown-ish while giving a lot of the droppy high-end elements. You know, you killed it.
All of a sudden we on.
Like the track has good energy throughout.
All of a sudden we got
Makes sound solid to me. You know, like at this point, I really just feel like nitpicking.
all of a sudden.
I mean, like I feel the kick, but I feel like it could be louder. You know, I feel like I hear the sidechain more than the kick. You know, so I would just maybe turn the kick, get the sub and the kick hitting at the same level. About.
Even stealing can see me as easy. No wonder we buzzing. No wonder we buzzing. When they talking of rulers, you never
You know the deal, man.
come up and yeah, all of a sudden, yeah, all of a sudden, yeah.
I really dig this though. People coming in with heat for tonight. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know much else to say. You killed it, man. I love the energy you keep up in the track.
All of a sudden, all of a sudden discussion, like with a cash.
And I really like how you kind of build on that motif you have in the beginning. You know, the
All of a
motif.
sudden, we're sad. Straight going and going and going and going.
At some parts, I maybe feel like I thought it was interesting, but maybe it can be perceived this way. Was like there might be too much going on during the breaks at points. You know, you might want to like loosen it up just a bit so you can like build up more tension and interest, like relatively. You know what I mean? Like Joe, just like Joe, he builds up a lot of relative interest, right? That's probably like a finance thing too. He definitely does that, and he makes a little sound sometimes. He's a cute guy. I like him. But yeah, 1VU, new submitter, but he killed it nonetheless, showing all these old timers up. But yeah, up next, Kava. Okay. Thievery Corporation. Remaster. Dig this break sound. You're processing it all funky.
Got those shrooms from Carl that he brought from Chico. I'm talking brain.
Thank you for the banger submission.
What? I'm scared.
I like, see, I like what's going on there. I felt like your kind of drum break in the beginning can kind of be filtered out a bit.
Got those shrooms from
You know what I mean? Like you could wash it out with like a high pass plus and or like echo, delay, reverb type stuff.
Chico. I'm talking brain.
Also, yeah, pre-master, definitely have headroom for stuff. But I can see right now your kick is probably way too loud because, yeah, that's probably the kick coming through, and it should not be that loud comparatively. Even though SoundCloud
I don't even know if I want to do any.
waveforms are not the best metric.
I'm scared. You know what? I'll do a couple. That's my guy.
I think you can have some kind of pitching up, like the guy. You can have a pitch up with the frequency shifter or through messing with the sample. That can be cool.
Appropriate with those. He's running.
Sub louder.
He's just hoofing it.
Also, I'm getting this weird thing with the sub. I feel like it might not be fully mono. You know, make sure it's mono. You can make it mono with Ableton's utility.
That's cool. Good friend of mine.
This sucks though.
Did you get it, bro?
Undisputably.
Dude, you gotta join a book club or read or solo.
I gotta join a book club?
Please do.
I just finished.
You can maybe have a little impact at the end for that transition.
That's so inappropriate.
I feel like I think the song fucks without it, but maybe you can have another layer to this kind of sustained bass of whoa, 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 whoa,
Stopping
whoa,
those snitches.
whoa,
The
whoa,
snitches
whoa,
are
whoa, whoa,
big
you know what I
old
mean?
pieces of shit. They are. We don't
That
like
sustained bass, it leaves a bit of room if you really want to go crazy with it. Feel free to go crazy with it. Yeah. But yeah, that's a slap and trap, super solid. Definitely watch your levels, you know, your sub. Make sure you're kicking sub. The sub frequencies on both of them are hitting around the same, more or less, you know, for your pre-master. And I would also level your mids and highs to be around the same point as to where your snare is hitting. You know, that's a good rule of thumb that gets you more or less a balanced mix. Because, yeah, that's what we want. We like a balanced mix, reasonably balanced, you know. We like it a little off, a little funky sometimes, but, yeah, for sure. It is pretty inappropriate. And I really like how you work the samples in. And the riff slapped, the sound design slapped. That's for sure the sauce. I just think the sound, I mean, not the sound design, the mix down is really where it needs the finessing to occur. All right, but yeah, you killed it, man. That's your boy, Kaba. Give him a follow. Let me put him in chat. Oh, I did. Okay. Shout out me from like 2 seconds ago. He's always looking out. Waves, remix composition, Method to the Madness, Waves remix. Alright, Waves. He's known for killing it around these parts. So let's see what he does with it. I don't know the original sample, so what could go wrong? Nice sample. I like how it's rising out very subtly and beautifully, very light and airy, like a feather. The transient or the sub bass, I feel like it's kind of like just thumping a little too hard. If this is your kick, I would maybe like something a little shorter. That's what I'm feeling. I feel like it's, I don't know. Just a little less decay on whatever's going on here. I think could make it sound a bit clearer and airier and vibier. Yeah, for sure. And then, like how you built things up. This part is beautiful. The clap sample's alright. I feel like you can like get a really saucy, really quick, snappy clap, even quicker. Would be nice. Let me run it back. What can I say? Ooh, that little break, immaculate. Maybe a little too much on the auto pan. Subjective though. Solid. Condition got the job done. I'm not complaining. Little new motif. Wait for being teased. I think your bass might be a bit too loud. Just a bit. Not certain. Just getting that kind of vibe. Yeah. I feel like that one lead switch up right there where the was kind of funky. I don't know. I would relook that. I like to kind of switch up. I don't know, either sound design or like how you worked it in with the arrangement. It's a little funky for me. This is very good. I agree, Adam Patel. I think you'd have a bit more, just a slight more tail on the end. Go, 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 you know. But that's absolute nitpicking at that point. But really, like, you always come out with a solid track. Nothing really stood out to me as like, oh, that's ass. You know, like the vibe was there. Everyone in the chat was vibing. I was certainly vibing. I could speak for myself on that. And yeah, not sure what you're up against, but if it were me judging it, that would get the dub for this competition. Nice vibes. Everyone agrees. Literally everyone. I just called up everyone I know. They said the vibes were nice. Yeah. But up next, I'm gonna get to that because he reposted it. But for right now, the boy, Face Man Beats, with the I Think You're Confused type beat. Makes me feel good AF. See? If Face Man Beats is feeling it, you know it's a banger. Everyone like that. Yeah, but follow waves if you dig with the housey flavor. You've heard this? Cool little sound effect in the beginning. Makes a cool mixin', I would say. And it's cool enough to not be just another boring impact. This is funky as hell. The hats are a bit too loud. Hat percussion stuff are definitely a bit too loud and stereo compared to the rest of basically everything. You know, I would either, you can lower the volume, make them less stereo, and or make everything else more stereo. We hang out. I like that little break at the end. That was very tastefully executed. Lost Gods. I don't know who that is. But I feel like here I would expect a bit more something to fade in. Like that kind of riser, I would expect to hear it a bit sooner, maybe. I'd like to hear it there. Yeah, I could definitely hear the Yates kind of vibes. I would have liked the second. I would have liked the second drop to be a bit more different, and I would maybe like the vocal chops to be more varied and just kind of interesting overall, like processed funky. You know, like different sections reversed, back and forth, more variation in the vocal chops. Interesting transition out. I feel like it's a bit of a deep vibe compared to the rest of it, you know, which, I mean, it is cool on its own, but I feel like kind of contrasts weird with the rest of the song. Not weird, but I feel like it could match a little better, expand on the previous themes instead of kind of making its own vibe, you know. That's just me though. Maybe I'm not reading the vibes right, but yeah. Killed it as always. Wouldn't mind to hear it 3 times. I agree. Man. Yeah, Faceman Beats. Once again, slaying the stream. Give him a follow if you fuck with how he slayed it. Thanks, yo. Original for sure in a dope way. Goes without saying. Coming from the Faceman. I mean, not even the Faceman, everyone in the stream. Original as L. Like a rat. More original than Joe the Rat. Joe's the most unoriginal guy ever. Just look at him. No originality. No finesse. Like what? What's he even doing here? Alright. Anyway, Nothing I've Become. Tucky baby. Let's freaking go. Alright, again with the acapella, you gotta match the key. Right, look up Nothing I've Become key. Or Nothing I've Become, Linkin Park, or like lyrics. This is the move. Evanescence, bring me to life, key. All right. E key, A minor mode, key E. And then you have to look up E scale, E major scale, right? And then write it in the same key. Or if you're going to transpose it, then every step would be like E flat, D, you know, because you made a mistake twice now. One time I'll forgive you, but no deal. I mean, it might technically be in the same key, but you want to make sure the progression is vaguely similar to the progression of the song or plays around the tonic, right? The tonic being the tonic, you know, like the name of the key, that note. Also, I see a lot of dudes, I mean, just in general, it's easy to do. You know, you have some type of melody or some melodic thing going on, then you just bring in the drums. You know, like, it gets the job done, but I feel like a lot of time it comes off as amateurish because it's very transparent, like, okay, and it doesn't add a whole lot. You know, I think, like, if you want to bring in the drums, I would at least have a bit of tension before and introduce something a bit more with the drums, like a bass or percussion, or just something more to make that drum add a bit less transparent. See, like, your bass line and the melody are, well, yeah, in the same key. But the not once again. And the other thing is your arrangement doesn't really reflect the vocal and, well, in harmony, it doesn't, because it's not very much following the vocal, right? But also in, like, the intensity, you know, like, that was like the verse or then the bridge, and then it's like the chorus, you know, but your song hasn't gotten to the chorus, you know, it's kind of like misalignment. You can definitely have a bit more, like, of a riser besides the drums, you know, like, drums build up tension, but having a riser and other elements like bending up can absolutely add more tension to make the drop more impactful. This sound design is for sure fucking So another thing for your riff, a lot of times it's better to have, like, a more consistent flow and a more consistent riff, you know, because even though it's rhythmically interesting, you know, a lot of times it's like people have to dance to it, you know. Of course the beat's there, but having consistent flow makes it slap harder because you have to play with expectation and non-expectation. And the other thing is, I would have maybe liked to hear your bass be kind of a variation on your sustain bass. You know, you can copy your sustain bass and process it or switch it up in a way to become your bass, you know. You have more, like, timbral consistency, you know what I mean? Just cut off really weird out of nowhere there. And another thing is that, like, when you're repeating your bass, I'm hearing, like, the LFO cut off early, you know what I mean? It's not going through a full cycle of the LFO, it's just stopping and the repeat, which kind of makes it have this weird kind of cutting off sound. And you can have some type of impact going out if you want to make the transition a bit more clear, dramatic. Same thing for this applies at the beginning. Another thing is, gets the job done to kind of repeat the like whatever this section-ish, the intro-ish build for the breakdown. But, you know, switch it up a little because we going above and beyond. Again with the risers too. Again with repeating like the riff that flows a bit. Especially here, because I'm kind of coming through it. And then I would have liked a bit more like kind of riser action into the end. And also if things were in the same like riser to kind of just smooth out the transition between this and the sample section. The other thing is that the key isn't right. You're hitting like a half step or a whole step below with your bass note, and then this comes in a different key would just make it sound weird and kind of wedged in. And this whole section is just sampled, which is fine, but well, yeah, do whatever you want with the sample section, but I feel like you could have done more with it, something more interesting, or like kind of redone the arrangement in some fashion. But yeah, do you with the sampling, but that's what's on. If you fuck with the nothing I become flip, follow the boy, Tucky baby, because homies support the homies, and that's what's up. All right, back to Schlop, right? After his first mistake in not copying the private link, which you must do if you want other people to actually see your track, right? And yeah, let's go. Impact at the beginning. Cool sound effects. More cool sound effects. With excellent sound design, dare I say. So coming in with a kind of bright pad vibe. I would have liked to hear a bit more kind of teasing as to what was ahead, you know, with like the sub bass or whatever, and or like a bit more rising tension action, you know, just a bit more predictability and tension, you know, expectation building. Kind of corny cymbal sample there, but I kind of like how you cut it off early. That made it less corny and more cool. Like deep W-ish vibes, and I like your consistency with the riffs, you know, but you add slight variations. The beginning part is a bit empty. I think you can have more kind of like atmospheric samples and just atmosphere throughout, you know, like dub delayed or whatever, like kind of percussion or just straight up atmospheric samples. Large. I think you could definitely get away with some kind of pitch bending or your sub 2. As pitch bending really thumps people in the chest a lot of the time. And it just adds interest as well, if you want. Also, volume automation is always an option as well. But these deep kicks are fucking... Also, maybe, this is very subjective or optional or whatever, but you can add in some kind of like fill type things. You know, and then comes back in. 808. You can still mess with an 808. You can pitch bend an 808 through the sample and volume fade it, and do all sorts of stuff. And you can make a very sub-like 808 or 808-like sub as well, which gives you more control for pitch bending stuff. Sections like this, I feel like, are especially kind of empty. It is kind of like deep dubby, like sparse, minimal kind of vibe, but I still feel like it's a bit too empty at some points. Maybe I have some kind of, vocal sample. Yeah, I think you should have more kind of rhythmic elements overall. That would make it fuck. And I think maybe this kind of pad should hit kind of the tonic chord instead of the dominant chord, the chord of the first note of the scale instead of the fifth. You know, unless you're gonna make it clear that it's like a dominant fifth, and that it's really like adding tension to resolve to that root note in music theory terms. I just feel like the pad, at least the note it's built on, the chord, could be different, you know, to kind of transition in and contrast better with the rest of the shit. You know the deal. Yeah, schlop music with the deep dubby type of vibes. Allsbrook, the pad reminds me of Amnesia by Pixel Terror. I'm not familiar with that song, but I've heard a few things by Pixel Terror before, and that's for damn sure. But give schlop a follow, or else. You know, I'm not even gonna give you an option at this point, or else, because he deserves it. I know that much, right? Anyways, up next, Vampy Wikis with the edibles. See, is this picture actually
third period action of the National Senior Hockey Championship. If you're just tuning in, the host, the Carey County Eagles, commanding 4-0 lead. And Tessa, there's a lot of chit-chat between the whistles. Yeah, Kate, a ton of chit-chat. So much that it's hard to tell.
I feel like you should like scoop some kind of like mid-ish high frequencies, because maybe I just don't like these women's voice. Voices are just a bit loud.
Welcome back to third period action of the National Senior Hockey Championship. If you're commanding 4-0 lead. And Tessa, there's a lot of chit-chat between the whistles. Yeah, Kate, a ton of chit-chat. So much that it's hard to tell if they're buddies or if they hate each other. My guess is the latter.
I feel like it just sounds a bit dry overall. You need some type of like washed out element to provide like a setting, you know, or just something to set all this stuff on top of. It sounds super dry to me. And the sound design as well. Nice build, good risers. Slapping. He's more sub bass. I feel like you've applied some like weird processing to the whole thing. It's like you have some weird EQ scoop like on the master or something. I don't know. It's like every I feel like it's just like missing some type of fullness. Some spots. I dig the sound. Erosion sounds kind of funky on that sound. Maybe you put it before processing, center after. Also, that part for sure needs more sub. Make sure that sub's in mono. Definitely old school vibes. One thing is you're kind of changing up a lot of stuff, which is cool, but I would definitely make sure you have a consistent riff or just vibe to follow throughout. Oh, another thing, the kick just sounds super like cymaticsy. Not fucking with the kick. Also, hats are super tiny and kind of stereo pan, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of. I don't know if you need to separate the drops.
Want some fucking Bob Marley? Get pumped up.
Good, I think. I don't think that bass there necessarily needed a layer. Also, you maybe could have like had it come in more subtly with like some low pass filtering on it, and also like EQ it a bit more and level it so it's a bit subtler, more like in effect rather than taking over the main bass. Also, I think this block should really hit with more sub bass. Read the description for where to send stuff in the Discord. Links right there. I think this lead could use a bit of filtering and kind of low pass filtering for kind of movement, as well as some kind of pitch bending. Add some more expressiveness, make it not sound so static. Another thing is I feel like you have to like kind of pick and choose where you want the complexity going on, you know, because your plucky kind of riff is very syncopated and funky, right? But then if you're gonna like add like another thing on top, like doing its own kind of flow and showing off its own timbres, it can be kind of too much at times, you know. You can maybe like have it switch off or work in kind of call and response style. Yeah. Another thing is like solid to me. Sub bass definitely needs to be louder. I'm not a huge fan of kick selection. I dig a lot of the sounds though, and I think your arrangement's super solid. I like how you transitioned it and you built great tension throughout and just laid it the fuck down, to say the least. That's the boy, Vampy Wikis. Hope you, Visual Spoiled, hope you figured out how to submit in the Discord, in the feedback channel. Songwriting chat, use the worst sample pack ever. Oh, alright, that explains the kick. I don't know. I've heard worse kicks. It just sounds super cymatic-y to me. But anyways, the boy Pyramid Lord coming back with a banger, right? Also follow Vampy Wikis, because I said so. Digging this Blender type beat for the picture. Digging this thing. I just dig it. It's vibey. I dig the background. I admire it. Anyway, Octopus Sex. Loving the waveform.
Of the phrase, hello, Steve. Nice day we are having. How are you? Can be altered to suit any situation.
Alright, let me run that back.
Phrase, hello, Steve. Nice day we are having. How are you? Can be altered to suit any situation.
Sub a little loud compared to the rest. I feel like you can have a bit more kind of calm response and variation, you know. I just feel like the you know, had to add the pause. You know, it isn't a super strong call, and just the frequency at which it repeats like takes away a lot of the strength from it, I think. And just like I think the timbre is being used, I feel like it seems in a lot of ways it seems like the in terms of call and response, like the lead type thing and whatever else, the lead type thing and the erosion bass aren't really interacting as much as I would like them to. Drums are nice, snare is plenty loud. I think the kick though needs the sample, either needs different sample with a bit more kind of transientness. Yes. And you know the deal. Also that new bass came in super loud compared to the rest of the stuff. It kind of came out of nowhere. I would like to hear it kind of filter in with some low pass auto filter action. Digging the sound design. I feel like here you could have kind of used a break of sorts. Hearing that Bunting riser though, so I'll forgive you for it. Yeah, I feel like it definitely could have used a break, you know, to like introduce more tension, you know, so you can continue with developing more sounds, you know, without it kind of going stale. Where are the rest of the tracks? Yeah, but like another thing is like throughout, I feel like texturally a lot of the time it's the same. You know, you have a lot of the same elements going on just in different ways. And I think one thing is to not have things all kind of lay on top of each other, you know, and not have things repeat as much. You know what I mean? I mean, that's very broad, and repetition isn't necessarily the issue. I think a big thing is that the flutter kind of noisy bass is repeating a lot, and I don't think it's a super strong call kind of bass. I feel like it's more of a response, you know, and it's timbre. But it's not a super strong downbeat in my opinion. I would just like to hear more like call and response kind of action. Even though there's definitely call and response there, I just feel like the rest of it is fucking like the bass line solid, the drum groove is for sure on point. Maybe a bit of pitch bending as well. Just overall, I think that could really do it. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of it's hitting like kind of the same notes, just in slightly different rhythm too. And pitch bending and kind of filtering as well. Definitely pitch bending and filtering can add a ton of movement to this, and I really think that would be the sauce. That would be the sauce. Definitely giving me octopus sex vibes. And you transition it out nicely. But yeah, if you want to witness some more octopus sex and other antics, right? Pyramid Lord is your guy. So give him a follow. I think pitch bending and filtering are the moves. You got to give it that movement, that organic, beautiful, delicious octopus sex type movement. You know, if you want it to move like an octopus, you need filters and pitch bends. All right. Still a little rusty. Yeah, for sure. Like if you just made it today, like I'm more than impressed. It fucks. I think like the ideas definitely need some refining as well. You know, a bit more arrangement, a journey with the arrangement, and kind of like deciding what riffs are the hardest to keep or where to put them and whatnot. You know, dark melodic dubstep needs a name. One thing, those chords definitely sound a lot louder than the melody, right? And the other thing is, I feel like the velocity on them you have to be careful with, like the bam bam bam. The velocity you have to be careful with, because if you don't have a lot of variation in the velocity, or if it's just all slamming like it is in the chords, then it sounds very much like a MIDI piano. Yeah, I'm gonna talk a bit quiet so you can actually hear what's going on. So yeah, just really be careful with the velocities. Sidechain might be a bit much. Also, a lot of times you don't need it early on in the song, you know, only when the sub bass and everything is going, but that's subjective. But sidechain sounds a bit much. Goodbye, Faceman Beats. I'll miss you so much. It's the last time I'll ever see you, so yeah, love you. Peace. For sure, that velocity will make it sound much more polished, maybe a bit of reverb as well. Little bit. Also, you have a kind of respace layered, except it's not necessarily in the bass frequencies, it's still kind of in the mid. I would like maybe a bit more tension building up for that, and kind of not the same riser just repeating a bunch of times for each kind of transition. I like how this is building up though, building great tension. Also, definitely too much sidechain, because when at that point, it just sounded like everything went quiet. I don't know if you turned it off and had it not do something right, or that's just the sidechain ducking everything out. I think you could definitely have some type of mid bass, you know, just have a fat saw, like kind of distorted or layer with noise. Does really well for these saw chords. And just OTT the fuck out of like that group. I really want those saw chords just like slamming me in the face. I need the growls, bro. Melodic dubstep, where the growls at? No growls. Alright, future bass. I'm removing the dubstep badge from you. Fuck so. The other thing, pitch bends, I think, can make it really expressive and just sound sick as hell. And I really like for the breakdown, you have this piano breakdown. Again, velocity work. But to keep that sub bass going, that groove. Snare is kind of like a little too dubsteppy for me. Be sure not to overuse the risers. Okay, building up tension again. I like how you built the tension in this. I think a bass is a big part of a fat stall stack, you know, and I think that you can really hear it kind of thin. It sounds on its own, you know, and I think it has some bass with it. But yeah, beyond the sub bass, just having some mid bass there. I heard a bit of growl action there. Wanted more up front for sure. And the other thing is, a lot of time for the fills, you don't really want anything on at all. You want it super clear and clean. It got pretty quiet all of a sudden. Maybe have a bigger impact, or have the lead kind of resolve instead of bang and then just cutting off. You can have it echo out as well. I think those chord pads could be a bit more washed out. I have a bit more movement. They sound a bit something. But yeah, I dig the track for sure. I would also maybe like to hear the second half be a bit more saucy, you know, a bit more different from the first. And yeah, that's that. Shout out Allsbrook. Don't have the SoundCloud on tap right now, but you're gonna have to find him and follow him. That's the rules. That's the rules. Okay. Anyway, up next, Dark 104 by Nope with the great spell. Alright, I'm cutting off submissions for tonight, because I don't want to be up all night reviewing your bangers. Oh shit, this is a short track and I'm missing it all. Cutting off submissions, or last call for submissions. For submissions, cutting them off after this tune. Okay. Anyway, back to business. Cool sounds in the beginning and the vocal. Cool reverse stuff. I would like to hear a bit more upfront bass, you know, if you're gonna drop it like that. Also, I feel like the way you're working in your bass, it's very like offbeat and kind of syncopated, right? For one, I feel like it should maybe pluck a bit and just have more presence overall, no matter what, especially if you're gonna have it all syncopated like that. But the other thing is, I feel like maybe have it a bit less syncopated and more on beat, because you know, the bass and drums are kind of the meat and potatoes. If you want to have something super syncopated, I would keep it more in the mid highs. Some type of calm response with the bass. Also super dry. I feel like some of your elements could use a little bit of reverb or something to fill it out. Sure. Also, maybe it's worth like really picking and choosing what elements you want to be up front in the mix and focused on, because a lot of it, like, sure, the mix is relatively level, right? Except I think the more bass and drums, but it's relatively level, right? But you need something to stick out, so I know what to focus on. Right now, there's a lot of stuff going on at once, right? Which makes it very complex and pretty, but I like something to focus on. Because I feel like there's like 3 things I can focus on. Another thing is not in terms of mix, just in terms of mix, in terms of complexity, right? Each thing here is doing a lot of stuff. You know, it's going crazy, which is honestly kind of cool, but also, this is cool. It's going crazy. Oh, I see what's going on, like a fractal up there. But it's cool, but you gotta either make the complexity more subdued within the mix or make it just less complex to leave room for people to focus on something. I really dig the sound design and the funkiness you have done here. Especially this beginning part. I was really expecting some type of fat sub bass to hit on that downbeat though, because you built it up hella nicely. Yeah. But that's Halgrenny. Give him a follow for these complex psychedelic beats. Chuck Wood, thanks for helping us with the sick tuts, doing the feedback stream, and building a dope community. Chuck Wood, thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate you out here being thoughtful, because yeah, it's what I love to do, you know, and I'm really glad you fellas support me every step of the way. The build up is fucking for sure. Where we left off, the boy Nope. Love sound design, music is super fun. Yeah. That's why I like it. You're a real one. I appreciate you. A special spoiled. No, you, bro. Appreciate you. Some fat 808s needed, absolutely. Some type of sub. I'm just feeling that on the downbeat. And some really washed out stuff. You could make it like... I really feel like if you just slam some fat 808s on there, or sub bass or something, and kind of wash out a lot of the elements, it could be like an absolute stupid... psychedelic banger. Stupidly psychedelic. We don't say trippy, we say psychedelic. Alright, Obey Gray out here looking very edgy with the picture as always. Badman Wendigo remix bump. I'm right. Spooky. Quite spooky.
Wendigo is a malevolent spirit, literally brought into life through what we consider one of the most ultimate acts of evil, cannibalism.
I would maybe like to hear your kind of melody a bit more up front than all these kind of sound effects.
But it is never satisfied with the amount of what it can be.
For whatever reason, I'm hearing like reverb on the kicks. I feel like that could fuck for this, just this intro.
It can literally move between time and space to be where its victims are. And so when the Wendigo has its sights on its victim, there is no escape.
I feel like it could have used some type of crash for that shit right there, for sure. And some kind of, just make it very clear, like, you've been faked the fuck out, you know? Like, rather than, like, people like, oh, what's going on? You know, you don't want to leave people confused. You want to make sure, like, oh, You know, like, you've been faked the fuck out. You gotta let them know. You gotta say you've been faked the fuck out and make that a drop vocal. Foolish. Oh, this part's it. Right when the drop first came in, I feel like I was expecting a bit more repetition. I felt like one kind of riff half came in and then like maybe repeated, and then another thing came in when I was like didn't even grab a hold of the first yet, you know what I mean? And now at this part I feel like it's repeating too much without much variation, you know? Okay, I hear what you did here, like repeated twice and then new kind of riff here. I feel like this bam 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 isn't super strong of a riff, and also I feel like the sound design in it isn't super solid. It just sounds like square wave without much movement, you know, just blown out type of thing. I feel like some filtering can really do you good. That switch up though definitely is the hardest. How do you do it? How to get the badge? Show me the badge. Yeah, solid for sure. Finishable. Absolutely, and I really dig the atmosphere set in the beginning with the little Wendigo sample. At some points it was kind of hard to hear, but generally I think it's pretty well mixed. The clap is kind of super loud. Yeah. Badman Wendigo remix. Yeah, but that's Obey Gray. And yeah, that's that. Their banger. If you missed it, tune in next week around the same time. Yeah, give Obey Gray follow if you want to hear more about the Wendigos, right? I was pretty invested in the guy's little speech about him. Might have to check that out. Thank you, Chad and Bunting, man. That bounce. Of course. See, why we should all be like official spoiled and follow the homies, because clearly official spoiled is the homie of homies. Podell, the boy. I've seen you lurking around, but I don't know why I haven't followed you yet. So got the boy Mythic Rogue in the comments. Eloque. Hi. Alright, my bad. Don't know how to say it. See, one thing, I feel like you need a darker profile so I can actually see what's going on with the waveform. No. Oh, it's like Delta.
I don't know what happened to you dusters, but fuck me, do you fuck dog! Riley, Jonesy,
Vocal might be a little too loud.
You couldn't even crack the hockey offensive, let alone the joint ice hockey liga!
I'm digging this build. A lot of tension being built up. What's he gonna do with it?
You kids are gonna learn some jam. It is fucking embarrassing!
I feel like basically all your shit vocal sample sounds louder than your basses in a way. And you definitely want your
Hey,
bass to
Bert?
be slapping in the
Said
ears.
little Natisha,
And be
take
nice
your
and
last
wide.
Halloween Oreo. You didn't get a chance to take a bite of that delicious orange frosting? Biscuit, I know. Little Desandra and her pal Laurentian took the last heads or tails mega stop too. Boomtown, you're an only child. You got your NASCAR Daytona Oreo.
Sound design done absolutely for the show. That like record back effect is a little overplayed in my
It's fucking embarrassing!
foolish froggy sounds. Sounds kind of mad. I really like how you switch up the kind of, we'll just switch up what's going on, you know, but you keep a consistent kind of riff and kind of response type pattern. Yeah. Killed it. Also, the sub bass, I don't know if it's not loud enough. It sounds kind of hollow to me. Make sure it's a clean signal, not being processed in any way, and make sure it's mono as well. This tune is absolutely killer. I think the main thing is I want those basses really slapping on my eardrums, especially in proportion to that vocal sample.
Just kidding, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you killed it, to say the least. Give Poe-Del a follow if you also think he killed it, which you should, so basically follow. I want to have someone to actually master this. I don't know if the master is necessarily, well, I would recommend mastering your own tracks because yeah, it's not very hard, and yeah, I don't know. I just recommend mastering your own tracks. That's what I like to do. But I think a lot of that would come down to the mix down. You know, if the vocal straight up sounds louder than the bass, you know, mastering isn't gonna change that. It's just gonna squash things basically so they sound closer, which is not what you want. You know, really just mess with it a bit more. Watch the mixing and mastering video if you're trying to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, basically all mastering really does, like, you compress it a bit, right, and just get it as loud as possible. You know, mastering isn't gonna save your track by any means, but really just keep messing with it. Watch the mix video, watch the mix master video on my channel, because that will probably help a little, at least a little, a lot if you're lucky, right? But that's that. Let's keep going with Notice with Thang. Let's go. Okay, very quiet, which is fine. Turning down my mic. I would have maybe liked to hear kind of a contrast between the build bass and the drop bass, you know, maybe like one's an octave above, then Drops octave low to the sub. Mine Twitch. No. The Discord's in the description. I dig that crazy ass vocal processing. I feel like the main bass though is kind of like it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. I mean, definitely the sound design on it fucks, but I think it needs to be layered with something else, you know, something more basic shapesy, kind of blown out, really fat, you know, because it got like this bubbliness to it, but I really think it needs that just straight kind of basic shapes, saw, square wave, distorted, blown out type shit. I like that kick sample for sure. Another thing is I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of the snare. It sounds a bit like, I mean, not enough fundamental, but also not enough high end. It might just not be loud enough in general. I feel like it could also be made interesting with a bit more prominent kind of fills and kind of call type things in the arrangement. It's like a very aggressive bubble that survives from getting from this space. It's like a hot tub, it's a jet in a hot tub type vibe. I really like this little breaksy thing at the end though. That's for damn sure. Yeah, the riff sounds solid to me though. So another thing, like kind of low pass filtering. I don't know. I'm just gonna say low pass filtering for everything because I think it always fucks. You can never go wrong with adding a bit more movement and dynamics. Start Twitch. Sure. I mean, I just got to get like Streamlabs set up to do Twitch stuff. Not sure if there'll be a whole lot of benefit. Like I'll get a few more people, but I'm not sure if I feel like really managing Twitch. But it wouldn't hurt to stream to multiple platforms at once. Vary the lead noise. Oh yeah, another thing. Yeah, for sure. Like maybe halfway through the drop, you can change up the timbre a bit to add some more variation to it. Anyway, up next, Pimp Daddy Dub with Swamp Step, parenthesis ID, right? ID is nuts, am I right? Am I right? I dig the logo, I dig this, whatever that is. Hat. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, whatever vibe you're going for. Vegas vibe? Who knows? Are you gonna elaborate on why I should start Twitch, or are you quiet now? Good impact at the beginning. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know if this impact is great. It sounds a little loud coming in. Well, also I've just turned up my shit. It looks very quiet here compared to the rest of the song, and it seems like there's some really heavy transients that are probably your mix is a little unlevel. I dig this melody though. Yeah, kick is way too loud. It's kind of stupid though, in a good way. You definitely want to bring up the volume on the rest of your stuff. I like this kick sample too. It really sucks you in.
Drop this shit.
goes on here. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? You killed it. I feel like you should play around your main sound more. You know, I felt like those breaks from it were just like, you know, I felt like the breaks from it should have been kind of quicker and more just like really playing with the, like taking away that main bass and bringing it back rather than its own kind of riff. You know, because I just felt like that kind of riff, that section where the woo just wasn't quite as strong. You know, and I would like to hear it play more just as a pull from the main.
Drop this shit.
Another thing.
Drop this shit.
I feel like the timing with the riser and the vocal is kind of weird. Also, the vocal is a bit corny and a little dry. When I think you can like chop it up, process it with OTT and chorus, pitch it around. Some cool stuff. But yeah, the sound here is absolutely foolish. Absolute tomfoolery. I agree. I thought damn when I heard that as well.
Drop this shit.
I feel like the timing between like the main and the off bass is just kind of weird. Again, with a fatality, I think you should like kind of process it more. Just like recommend it with the other thing, with the stuff I mentioned. You need basically a dedicated sub bass, you know? Like the sub bass isn't consistent across the board, and like especially for that squelchier sound which doesn't have much sub content at all, or mid content. You know, sub would definitely make grid slap with the, you know. Also, that drop was only half as long as the other drop, which I feel like they should kind of match, you know, for like, I don't know. Well, that's just what I feel, man. In terms of length, you know, you can repeat it with just a slight timbral variation. Just take a patch and tweak it a little. And yeah, that should do it for you. Yeah, fucked. I had one more thing to say. But it's gone now. The beat's too foolish. I've been mind wiped. Shout out mind wipe. Anyways, up next, MIUI. On Lucid Slip, was this some type of label release? Or something coming up? Or is this your other thing? I'm confused. Anyway, did I plug Pimp Daddy? I did not yet. Crawl through my bones. Yeah, I did. Also, you might have tried to send a link. I don't know why your message got retracted automatically. But, yeah, I want to know what you said. But I might never. Lucid Slip. I mean, that's weird. I guess it's like a collab. It's a group. I don't know. Well, whatever. We're playing the track. MIUI, never the same. Finally, a loud track. chords. I dig whatever sampler or patch you use for this as well. And it's building up nicely. Travis Witt, peace out, man. Thanks for tuning in and submitting if you did. I like how you switched up in this arrangement. Guitar could maybe be a bit clearer. Bit of a kind of multi-band compression on it could make it clearer. Another thing is, I feel like this kind of respace is a bit gritty at the bottom. A little too gritty, might like. I would maybe like to hear that saw chord kind of teasing in sooner, like maybe way sooner, because it just sounds so high fidelity compared to the intro type stuff. I think, yeah. Chords immaculate. I really dig the sound design on the saw chord as well, and the reversals. That little fake out with the kind of reverse reverb on it. Killer. Quick break, coming right back into the business. I feel like the melody of the guitar is kind of funky with the chords. I don't know. It's not too funky. It's kind of grown on me, but especially right there, it just sounds weird. They're kind of like outlining different chords. You can argue it's jazzy, but a little funky if you ask me. Another thing is the piano chords, like they hit like 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 1 basically every time. While I feel like you can have it more interesting if you had them hit not just on the 1 every time, you know, a bit more interesting in the rhythm, harmonic rhythm. I would like a tiny bit more of a fill or a riser or something right before this like kind of breakdown with the hard panned jazzy hi-hat. Maybe not so hard panned, or if that's the sample. I don't even know. You know, make it mono or whatever and then work with it from there. But I guess it could be cool. Yeah, that was lovely, as always. Not sure why this man has uploaded it, unless you're both mans at the same time, secretly. Right? In that case, I'll never forgive you for hiding a secret from the flock like that. Right? The flock doesn't have secrets. We're a cult in that sense. We don't hide secrets. We don't do that. But because it's not you, I'm not going to shout it out, because I'm sussed out, man. I'll admit it. But yeah. If you want me to, I will. But up next is Vagabond Daydream with In the Shadows. Sick art. Text could have been a little better executed. I would like this melody to be a bit more prominent. Also, sidechain sounds to be a bit much. have maybe liked a bit kind of an impact into that build section with the claps. Also, I think your claps can kind of filter in or volume automate, swell in. It adds to the tension and adds to kind of the subtlety for the transition. Super excellent. Tension and teasing up the bass. Weird ass sound there. Yeah, this is solid. I feel like the mids and highs on that bass could be a bit louder. Mario jump sounded quite a bit loud compared to the rest of it. Really loved how you're working all these complex, crazy fills. Yeah, that's solid. Like how you worked in the complexity with keeping it legible though. Another great build up after smooth breakdown. Heard a bit of kind of harsh frequencies on that white noise riser at the end. Just make sure to scoop those out a bit.
Switch.
At the beginning of the drop, I felt like it almost got like too complex and like kind of syncopated or staccato-y. You know, just like that. You know, I would like to maybe hear that a little unsparingly, but just like kind of get the riff out. Importantly. And your bass sounds pretty wide too and clear, which is excellent. Big up front in the face. Yeah, your drum sounded good too. I feel like the kick could be like a hair louder. Big sound, that's for sure. Also, just because I remember to say it, if you want to catch this stream later, right, link in description, you can get, yeah, there's a playlist with all the live stream VODs, which, yeah, it's good for you, because you get to watch all the old streams and catch up if you miss anything. Yeah, like super solid track. You definitely have the professional vibe, you know, solid filled intro, quick transition into the build, you know, which is solid as well. And yeah, the drop, you build up great tension and the drop is super clear and banger and yeah, to the point with some beautiful fills in there. But yeah, that's the boy, Vagabond Daydream, coming in killer. Like maybe, like not maybe, like for sure start sending your stuff into labels. You know, labels aren't goated a lot of the time, as some might say, but for sure if you have no following whatsoever, it's a great place to, yeah, get your good music out to people who want to hear it. I think that's kind of the bet for people that have no real following to start with. But yeah, man, you killed it once again. Not a ton of feedback, not a ton of constructive criticism, but take that as a compliment. I gotta check out that new Essex, right? Since I just did the video on it, I might as well. Hashtag dubstep. Didn't even rate it in the actual tags. He wrote it in the comments. I say this quite a few times. Be careful with just like having a melody or something and bringing the drums, because it sounds kind of amateurish and super transparent. Too much on the auto pan. Just increase the amount of it over time or whatever. Kick and snare could definitely be louder and have maybe just better samples. Shit slaps though, that's for sure. I appreciate that you have these two parts in the same key, of course. Goes without saying. The bounce. Peace out, man. Thanks for sticking around this long to hear the bangers. Appreciate you as always, and thanks for the killer submission. You know the deal, man. See you around in the Discord. Definitely be a little more tasteful with auto pan. I feel like a lot of times you hear a guy that just found out auto pan and you could tell. You could definitely tell. I'm not saying you're that guy, I'm just getting those kind of vibes. Another solid build up. Too much auto pan. No, I'm done. I'm done with it. Don't say auto pan challenge. The other thing is, like, generally, I mean, not generally, you just want your, okay, didn't mean to do that. You want your basses overall, I mean, like mids, highs, subs, way louder than your vocal. Because the way it is right now, your vocal is sounding louder than your basses, which is not the sauce. You know, the basses are where the impact is. That's what people are waiting for. You gotta be loud. But yeah, for sure, like your drops, your sound design, and your arrangement is all hella solid on here. Drums though, the mix down is where it's at for this one. I'll transition out. Maybe it would have had a bit bigger of an impact going out. I would have maybe repeated that little ending section twice as long and kind of echoed it out. Maybe had a little impact at the end for the mix out, but yeah, got the job done. For sure, give side loads a follow if you fuck with the side load vibe. Right, that's that. Throat Cold, July mixdown. Throat Cold in July, unbelievable. Lol. Not sure what you're lolling at. Probably the auto pan joke. Who knows? Official spoiled, goated for following everyone. Everyone better follow him. That's the least they can do. Once again, admiring this picture. The glitchy vibe is excellent. It's really like fading into the background, which is some dope shit if you ask me. Also, really digging the vocal atmosphere laid down right from the start. Sounding quite high fidelity. Digging like the little breaks you have with the bass line, laying down a beautiful groove with all those beautiful vocal samples. Finally, a loud song. Oh, you aren't fully live. I'm further ahead on the live broadcast. Oh, I don't know.
All the chains on my neck got me.
I don't know. Because I thought I said that a while ago.
chains on my neck got me frozen.
I have to go back. I was worried about people in the chat not being live.
All the chains on my neck got me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, solid in the beginning. I really dug the vocals, and all the chains on your neck got me.
Frozen.
I dig like that kind of widening effect at the end. That was subtle and sick. And the kind of call and response play between the two basses, having a little conversation, is killer. Sound design and riffs on both of them, solid. Okay, the Ableton. Like that vocal layer, very subtly. Yeah, this is solid. The mix sounds solid. The drums are clear. Sub sounds right. All the basses are popping off. If you want the link to these, just dig through the Discord. Or you can probably ask the dudes themselves for a download link if it's not up. Also, I like how you transition it out into more of a, like a breakdown, you know? You still keep a groove going, but you get a bit more melodics going, which is just excellent, to say the least. This buildup is coming in kind of fast. I felt like maybe you could have filtered it in a bit sooner. Solid breakout slash teaser type thing. You have pretty much the same sounds, but you arrange them in a fresh but banging way. Clean is the way to put it. Yeah, super clean, really. Like you're not even mastered yet and it already sounds, yeah, like this is releasable. Like this would fuck if it's on a label, if it's released, for sure. Pop off, you know. Don't have much more to say. You killed it. But yeah, give Pop the trunk a follow, right? Because we all know now it's a hitter, right? The least you can do is give him a bit of support. Okay, somehow you're looking at me. Get out of here. Let's go. Dabs. imposter, new submitter. Little much on the auto pan. Not the worst auto pan I've heard. I like that pad bringing in subtly. This melody sounds like the melody from LS Dream Awake.exe. That transposition's kind of funky, but I dig it. I felt like more tension could have been built up there. You maybe could have like taken out the bass for a section and change up the arrangement a bit more beyond just having the drums arising. It's like more of a riser sound effect type thing as well. Another thing, I think it would hit much harder if in your drop you took out more elements, you know, so to leave a lot of room for the bass to fill up the frequencies and just be in your face, you know, have the bass be the focus. You know, because you have a lot of atmospheres going on, which I think mostly take away from the impact of the bass, you know. Maybe you could add it like through the drop, you know, like transitioning back into a breakdown as is. I think you really want that bass to pop off and be super present. Hashtag stuff. Like you had a pretty long breakdown here, right, which not a whole lot of content going on, right, and then it just kind of weirdly went back into the main drop, you know, with no real effect or indication like to build tension or expectation to bring it back. Make your arrangement clear what you're trying to do, the direction you're trying to express. Also, not sure if I'm a big fan of the samples you chose. The kick sounds kind of reverby in a weird way. And the snare kind of sounds old school and also kind of reverbed out. Maybe just too much reverb. Or you're not using buntingmusic.com samples. Plenty of free packs here under the shop, right? No, this is dumb, but you get what I mean. Plenty of free stuff you can get under here. And yeah, you can get lessons as well, and check out my music, which would support me, and you get to hear bangers, so it's really a win-win. But for sure, get that free stuff, and if you do choose to pay shit, then support your boy. I have no shame when it comes to plugs, but less than all these other dudes combined. I deserve a plug as a treat. A lot of my same tips apply to here. I really dig the sound design though. Another thing, I said 3. That's right. I said it. Free banging samples. Best drums you'll ever get, or your free money back. I literally pay you if they're not the best. I'll pay you even though you gave me nothing. I'll just pay you, okay? But another thing. I got so distracted. Hi, hello Hipsama. I'm not sure why people are just hopping in now, because I'm trying to conclude things down here. I had one more thing to say. I like your fill you have there. Yeah, well, I cannot remember for the life of me what was going on with that. But, yeah, if you fuck with it, give Alien Imposter a follow, a new submitter to our lovely feedback stream. Yes, done with the feedbacks. Get on 2 hours now. I require the rest. Going to steal them anyways. JP. I'm not sure what JP. But yeah, go to my website. Link is in the description, and there's a ton of free packs and just free resources, because I'm just giving it out. I'm such a cool guy. I just give it out, you know? Yeah, whatever that means. But up next, Zombie Steez. Again, I dig this. They're kind of like weird elf vampire guys, which I respect. I'm not sure. I swear you guys submitted something before, or guy, who knows. But I'm not following. But now I am, so the coolest. But for sure, tune in like basically the same time. I usually head on like around 10:30, 11ish. You know, I start streaming. So yeah, tune in next week and get your track in, because yeah, I'd be happy to hear it and provide you some valuable, hopefully valuable advice for it. You know, Zombie Steez, let's go. Also, silence at the end of the track. Not sure if it needs it. Mad love, Bunting. Pop the trunk. Mad love to you. Next week. You always got next week. I feel like you can have this vocal thing be a bit more upfront. And your kind of melody thing up front. I think you could just like have both of them be more present. I feel like you should definitely have a bit more of a riser and more tension built up, and expectation, you know, maybe a bit of a pre-drop silence as well, or vocal, whatever, fill, right, to prepare for that drop. It kind of came in out of nowhere. Also, I feel like I've heard that a little bit of somewhere before. Also, I feel like the kind of harmonic these basses are hitting is kind of funky. You know, I don't know, maybe a different harmonic would fit better, but I mean, it still slaps, so. These hi-hats are a bit harsh, maybe too loud, maybe you should compress them or limit them a bit. Yeah. Or maybe they're louder because at a certain point they're hard to hear because they're getting squashed, right? What you gotta manage that squash, you gotta turn it down. feel like some like kind of peak or like resonancy and movement in that bass could be kind of cool and saucy and add. Kick is slapping though, that's for sure. Also, in some parts, it's kind of hard. Yeah. I mean, it's really just like a matter of leveling, right? And kind of scooping out some sections in the EQ. Because at certain parts, your clap does not sound as prominent, right? And the same thing with your hats, you know, some parts they sound louder, some parts they sound quieter. For the clap, something you could do, definitely not the hat since they hit so often. Or be careful with it, but sidechain. If you even want, you could like just sidechain the mid-high frequencies, not the whole thing, so the sub and check them all the time. This sucks. Multi-band compression. That's how you do it. Also, you might want a bit more of a kind of mix down at the end. And you definitely don't need this long. And I'm not sure if that's a sample or it might just be an artifact from something you were messing with. Right? But yeah, make sure it's deliberate, whatever you're doing. And you can maybe like have this kind of intro play out at the end for just a smoother mix out or some type of big impact as well. You know the deal. You know the deal. But yeah, that's Destinesia dub with the cool art that I like to stare at for whatever reason. Destinesia with the zombie steez. Another thing is I felt like the drop kind of went on for a while. Without a ton of variation, but I mean it was solid. It slapped. You know, another thing for sure with this kind of like huge sustain based style, you could just slightly change that timbre and it could cause a whole new level of stank. Baja space modulator, I dig it though. Just whatever you're doing, be deliberate. Sorry, this was a while ago. Hashtag lo-fi house 5 months ago. I'm here for it. Alright, one thing, I really don't like using not clean acapellas. You know, and if you are gonna use a not clean acapella, I mean try to clean it up somehow. You know, like reduce ambiance. Ableton preset is great for that. Another thing is reverb it's easy to just wash stuff out so you can't hear all the artifacts and little stuff. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for submitting, man. It was a pleasure to hear the banger before it's released. And yeah, bro, I dig how like I think it's you that there's just like this stuff on there. Like I gotta listen to more of this because it hits. It's fueling my soul.
It's a whole lot of red.
Another thing, the piano sounds fine. It doesn't sound as bad as I think Allsbrook piano in terms of velocity. But like if you want your piano to sound really good, you gotta like manually doing the velocity.
Hello.
Most of the velocities.
Hello.
I like that snare. Kick needs to be a bit louder. I like that bass line. I think that's in the acapella, not in your track. Either way, that's another reason I'd use acapellas. And if it's in your track, I don't feel like it's exactly in the same key. Is there actually something on here? Yeah, there is. The contrast is so small. Super hard to tell, but there's some sort of lines going on. I like those chords coming in. I feel like he could have like kind of filtered in those chords a bit subtler. Another thing is, I'm not sure if it's always the move to just like have it kind of add up, you know, over time in the arrangement, rather to have them switch off, or you know, just be deliberate. You know, I think a lot of the time, just like adding stuff on top of each other isn't the most interesting arrangement. You know, but just be mindful of that. I really like your harmony stuff and your little melody. Bassline fucking. I feel like the kind of breaks are kind of weird. Yeah, I feel like it should leave out, it should cut out on the kick, you know, rather than like on the upbeat, on the downbeat. Yeah, I just feel like it cuts out kind of weird. Another thing, I feel like if your saw chords were kind of like low pass filtered in, or volume filtered, and or both, whatever, a bit tighter, it would groove harder, a lot harder. And I think you'd have like slight timbral variations, or like slight variations in the harmony in the second half, or some type of melody, just to add more kind of progression once your drum starts kicking in. I like that you're bringing in melody and a new instrument, right? But I think it's kind of weird to have two things going on at the same time, doing slightly different things. You know, probably want one at a time to just make it easier to follow. And also, I'm a big fan of like having the arrangement like prepare you for bringing in new elements. You know, whether that's through like a fill, through a little riser, introducing a bit of tension, you know, or filtering it in, low pass filtering. Bassline is my favorite part, absolutely. Like that might be the stankiest part, just those bass and the drums, you know. But back to the banger. Shout out Pagani. Pagani, you killed it on this track. Yeah, that hits. But yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks everyone for submitting. I did cut off submissions for tonight. I do like your picture, Wilson, a little baby alien guy. I do like that, but not enough to, yeah, check it out tonight. But next week, be here or be square, right? I'm not gonna say that other word, right? But yeah, thanks again to everyone who came in. As always, buntingmusic.com. There's plenty of free samples and resources. And if you want one-on-one lessons with me to really help realize your feedback I gave you, that's that. If you want to view this stream later, link is in the description for the live stream playlist. And yeah, Patreon as well supports me. You know, all the support helps. If you don't support me, that's still cool, because by being here and viewing and enjoying my content, you're supporting me, so I love you no matter what, you know. Beyond that, I just love helping you. Just love helping the homies learn, because that's what I do, man. It's just what I do. Peace out, everyone. Don't mind me while I Make sure this stream goes to the right place when it goes offline. The right playlist, unlisted. All right. Yeah, peace out, everyone. Catch you next week around the same time. And stay creative, fellas. Peace out. Love.